Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at the ECMWF extended model. For today's second video, we're looking at the mean sea level pressure anomalies, 500 millibar height anomalies, temperature and precipitation anomalies for the next 42 days / 6 weeks for the UK and for Ireland as well. And I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that the wider sort of European outlook with the EC extended model is on a Tuesday. So yes, the focus on a Friday is with the UK and with Ireland. Right, so just say that the first video released today was our 7 AM broadcast. We've got the week ahead forecast coming up for you shortly, as well as on our Saturday. You've got your week ahead look ahead, followed by a 10 to 14 day that's going to include all of the regular features. Please like, share, subscribe on all of the videos. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. I hope you're having a lovely Saturday. Right, okay, so let's start off with the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly. This is going to take us from the 4th through to the 11th of November. So it's quite unsettled, actually, with low pressure coming in off the Atlantic into the west and northwest Europe. High pressure is down towards Spain, so that will be bringing up like a southwest wind. So it probably won't be that cold, but does look pretty unsettled there. 500 millibar height anomaly also shows below average heights, low pressure in across the north and the west of Europe, higher pressure down towards Spain, trying to push northwards. But it's a low pressure that's in control for next week. Temperature anomaly is lifting up a little bit, so the temperature anomaly is close to, or maybe even slightly above average for the UK and Ireland. Scandinavia looking quite warm. France looking cooler. So we're close to average. Temperatures recovering a little bit next week. But the price paid for that is that it is wetter than average too. So yes, we see a massive rain, you know, all the way from the middle of the Atlantic right way into the UK and up into Northern Europe as well. So a wet but slightly warmer week to come for the UK and for Ireland next week. Right, we're going to go through to week 2, which will be the 11th to the 18th of October. We begin to get rid of that area of low pressure, and we start to set up some higher pressure across western parts of Europe. So it does look as though, you know, we're breaking out of a very unsettled weather. There probably is still going to be a trough of low pressure around here, I would have thought. So we wouldn't completely get rid of the low pressure, but I suspect that's going to a rather drier week probably. The 500 millibar height on looks like that. You see the area of above average heights, the high pressure ridging northwards. So that is over Spain, but now it's ridging north across the west and the north of Europe. I think there will still be some low pressure through here, or some lower pressure through there. So probably for Scotland and Ireland, we do keep some unsettled weather going, but particularly for England and Wales, I would have thought that does settle down quite a bit. A milder than average week to come for this week as well. So above average temperatures being predicted there for the UK and for Ireland too. And precipitation-wise, it's nowhere near as wet as it is in week 1. We're not dry, but we're not particularly wet either. We're close to average for precipitation. I suspect there is a drying trend that's going on there. Right, moving to week 3, which will be the 18th to 25th of October. More changes, low pressure coming back, so there's low pressure in the Atlantic, low pressure to our east and northeast as well. Signs of a bit of high pressure beginning to get going around Greenland as well, and the high pressure across the continent is sort of collapsing and seemingly dropping southwards into the Mediterranean. That's certainly turning more unsettled. It might even be starting to get a little bit cold as well, perhaps trying to get wind slightly into the north, but definitely it's turning more unsettled. The 500 millibar height anomaly looks like that, and we see that the below average heights are particularly centred over Scandinavia, with a mid-Atlantic ridge up towards Greenland. That probably gets the wind into the north, so that could be starting to turn colder as we go through that week, the 18th to 25th of October, with a temperature anomaly drop. So it doesn't go cold on average, but it does certainly lower. We go back close to average with a temperature anomaly there. And the precipitation anomaly going more unsettled again, becoming wetter once more for the UK, for Ireland, and also for northern parts of Europe. Right, is that cold weather going to develop as we get into the final week of October? Let's have a look. This is the 25th of October to the 1st of November. So we see that we have high pressure then across central and southeastern parts of Europe. That's going to try and pull warmth probably into like the central eastern part of Europe. But trough low pressure looks like it's going away over Scandinavia, and we're losing with blocking as well, though. So quite difficult to decide what's going on there. We're not developing what could be a cold pattern, not from mean sea level pressure anyway. 500 millibar heights actually swing back to something a little bit milder here in the last week of October. So I thought maybe the last week of October might go a bit colder, but actually this is going to go milder again, with high pressure developing to our south-southwest and pulling wind in to west-southwest direction. Temperature anomaly should lift up in this week. There it is. The temperature anomaly starts to go milder than average again for the UK, for Ireland, through most parts of Western Europe, and the precipitation anomaly, not much of a signal, to be honest. We're losing a signal, I think, as we're going further out. Right, quite an interesting update this, isn't it? Go from the week 5, it could be the 1st to the 8th of November. What happens? Look at this, that trough begins to come back again to our east. It's not really combined with any blocking, though, certainly not from mean sea level pressure anomalies, but certainly the low pressure is back in and to our east, and winds are going back into the north again, perhaps, maybe even the northeast. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly. There we see the trough low pressure in over Scandinavia. There is above average height, so it's more towards the Canadian side of Greenland. So this could leave us like in a westerly, actually, or it could pull in like a northwesterly. It's a long way out, of course, so not really worth worrying about. But the 1st to the 8th of November, from temperature anomaly perspective, shows another sort of decline in the temperature. Still a little bit on the mild average side, maybe, but certainly the temperature anomaly is reducing again slightly. The precipitation anomaly, very weak signal, but if anything, it might be starting to go a little bit wetter again across particularly southern parts of the country. Right, so the final week, week 6, will be the 8th to the 15th of November. What's it going to show? Let's have a look. There it is. So, very weak signal, but it looks like we've got some higher pressure up towards Greenland and Iceland. That trough of low still in over Scandinavia. So, overall, that looks like it could be quite a coldish pattern. We might still be bringing in the wind from a northwesterly direction. Let's have a look at the 500 millibar heights. So, again, we've got like a mid-Atlantic ridge going up towards Greenland and Iceland. Probably a trough in through there. And so, overall, you would expect that to be pretty cold, I think, by the middle of November. The temperature anomaly shows no particular signal, so yeah, you know, it's not forecasting cold for November in its own term, but the pattern looks like it's one that might be conducive for something a little bit colder. I have to say, I don't know how Scandinavia is coming out as warm as that with this 500 millibar height anomaly, to be honest. And lastly, the precipitation anomaly for week 6 looks like that. So you can see, but it's drier than average to our north. Presumably this is down to like the blocking signal up here, wetter than average through here. I think that could be quite a cold week across northern and western Europe. So I think the temperature is a little bit over top there in terms of mild, especially for Scandinavia. Right, so quite an interesting update from the ECMWF this week. Very changeable from week to week. You know, a lot of changes going on. Obviously, we're starting off unsettled in the coming week, quite wet and also relatively mild for the UK and for Ireland next week. Then probably going to something drier around the middle part of October, and probably mild as well. Maybe even quite warm. And then perhaps a little bit colder towards the last stages of the month. That might carry on into early November. I think that's how it's shaping up broadly with this update. That'll be my interpretation anyway. So could we be in for a cold into October and start to November? It will be in line with what Terry Scully was forecasting in his October forecast, of course, yesterday. So we shall see, and time, as ever, will tell. Right, okay, so that's it for the EC extended forecast for today. We're going to be back later on with a week ahead forecast, and don't forget the 10 to 14 day that will be coming up later on this afternoon. For the ECMWF 6 weeks look ahead for the UK and for Ireland too, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.